What to do with your beloved home in retirement? It's a question that can stir up emotional and financial worries. I do understand. I wrote the book, Home Sweet Home, How to Decide Whether You Should Stay or Move in Retirement. I appreciate that so many of you have been watching my videos on the YouTube channel because I'm walking you through the book so that you can get the benefit by hearing it as well as reading it. Please do ask questions, 781-577-2311 or wealthychoices.com. I'm happy to help. I'm Penelope Tzougros, PhD, CHFC, CLU author, and financial planner. I'm concerned that you may be struggling with the decision, do I stay or do I go? Perhaps sharing my own process about deciding to leave my beloved home may help you. I don't know, I hope so, since that is the reason for doing this video. For 40 years, I lived in a Queen Anne style Victorian in Boston. It was near Angel Memorial, a renowned veterinary clinic where I took many pets. It was a few subway stops away from great libraries, museums, theater. Friends were just walking distance away. I was close to both the places where I happily served as a professor for many years, and an ideal location for me. The house itself was full of craftsmanship that spoke of the 1800s, intricate inlaid wood floors, moldings, architectural features. It spoke of a different time. Huge windows, space for comforting, third floor, high ceilings, not an attic space, not a crawl space, basement, high ceilings, maybe altogether 3,500 square feet. I don't know. I mention those because they had to do with my decision. It had to do with how I figured this out. Do I move or do I stay? For 40 years, the life of the house included big parties, community meetings for social groups, family visits, birthday parties, parties for every occasion we could come up with, frequent dinners with loved ones, and laughter and great conversations. Why move? Flights of stairs, yeah, and a knee replacement. How I manage all those stairs in such a huge space in the coming years. Both the high ceilings on the third floor that others might call an attic and high ceilings in the basement could be an answer. I hired an architect to redesign the basement for a live-in person, someone who could take care of me and take care of the house if I could not take care of either of us. Smart idea, right? I was very proud of myself. Well, the first set of drawings did not work. It didn't work right for this space. Be patient, be patient. Thinking creatively takes time. More architectural drawings. In the meantime, consider the beautiful and useless things in the attic and the basement. After all, we reconstruct the basement and the apartment, what would happen to all the things in the house? Who would make the decision about which painting went to which person? Which heirlooms go to which family members? Not only those emotionally charged issues, they are huge devotions of time. Who's going to do that? Even if I paid someone, would that person know what to do, even if I wrote out a list? I remembered it was a holiday. It was a visit to our very dear Aunt Mary, a wonderful, wonderful person, kind. She was an artist, and many of her paintings won local awards. And she had a book, pictures of each painting. And she asked each of us to write our names on the back of the painting that we would like to have, that we would inherit. I admired her for thinking ahead, for caring about us, to wanting intentionally to gift us. We did not know, but she did. She had been diagnosed with cancer. She had courage. Could I be that intentional and careful with everyone I love as she was with us. She was preparing us emotionally, even though we did not talk about what we intuited. Things are not stuff, they are stories. They are embodiments of emotions, memories. What to do? There's so many things. If the house were burnt to the ground, which things would I care I had lost? Nah, but we're thinking about the life of the things beyond my time. That's very different. That is what we're thinking. But they are still things. I have to make decisions. I can't have those decisions pushed onto others, can I? That would be a burden and thoughtless, right? Well, if I died suddenly, isn't that what would happen? Somebody would have to take it over. But I care too much about the people in my life to do that. Am I still talking about stay or go? Has this conversation drifted? No. The question has been embedded into every emotion about who I am, how do I show love, how to make the right choices. Are there right choices? What do I need to do to nurture myself now? How do I take care of the person who will be in 10 years or more if I am blessed to have those years? Well, let's go back to the final meeting with the architect. A solid solution, right? It would make everything easy. Well, none of his drawings for the basement apartment worked for someone to care for me and for the house. So that solution sort of is gone. Next, I love the house. It has no insulation because the way it was built in 1890 or so, the plaster would destroy the drill bit going in, so they couldn't put in insulation. We checked all those ideas out years ago. Years ago, the oil to warm this huge house was cheaper. Yes, the windows are huge and beautiful, filling the rooms with light, but drafty. The real estate taxes are going up because the assessment on the house has gone up as the area is surging in popularity. When we moved there, we were told to be grateful that the arsonist had been caught. Yes, indeed. It was a dicier neighborhood 40 years ago. But that's what I could afford on a professor's salary. When I stopped working, will I have all the money to pay all these escalating expenses that are not in my control? Sure, I can cut back on everything that is discretionary, but not on real estate taxes, heating oil, insurance, health insurance, keeping up with the huge structure inside and out, all that painting, cleaning. Wow. Time to look at the money. What are all the expenses? All of them. That's why I have in my book pages so you can collect on those worksheets all the expenses, everything, pest control, everything, not just taxes. And then also there are worksheets for maintaining your lifestyle. You still buy food, get a haircut, buy shoes, no matter what you have to pay to paint the house. I worked on these sheets. Oh yeah, big numbers showed up. Where's my money? What can it do for me? Lots more to discuss. The next video. Here's a little bit more of a view of what's around us.